Welcome to the T-Pac Arcade. Today's game is Buck Rogers' Planet of Zoom for the Atari 2600. In this 1983 rail shooter from Sega, you're Buck Rogers in the 25th century, at war with alien ships on the Planet of Zoom. Now, I watched the 1939 Buck Rogers film serial to familiarize myself with the source material before sitting down with this game, but come to find out, the license was just slapped on an existing Sega arcade title before being ported to the Atari. So, it has nothing to do with Buck Rogers, except that you fly a spaceship. That doesn't bother me though, because in the film serial, Buck Rogers has a habit of attacking and kidnapping his own allies. Not exactly the hero I want to emulate, even in video game form. In any case, we've got some proper arcade fare here. Play through a looping sequence of planet surface slaloms and outer space mothership battles that gradually increase in difficulty. Every level has two parts. In the first, you have to fly between a specified number of electron posts indicated at the top of the screen. They come at you from afar, and you have to line up your ship to pass through the middle. Problem is, this game doesn't seem to understand perspective because the distance between posts doesn't change as they move in from the horizon. Vanishing points, Sega. Look it up. Granted, maybe this was an intentional design choice to help you fine-tune the positioning of your ship in advance, and at least the electron posts do get bigger in perspective as they come at you. Even still, these things are either poorly named or the largest electrons in the universe. Particle physics, Sega. Look it up. So as you continue along the surface, you start encountering flying saucers and space hoppers obstructing your path between posts. Luckily, you can shoot them down with your cannon to clear the way and score some points. Plus, this game supports auto-fire, so just hold down that action button for a good endless pew-pew-pewing cacophony. Once you've slalomed your way through all the electron posts, you can take off into space and shoot down a designated number of alien saucers that swoop in and out from the edges of the screen, culminating in a visit from the pink double helix mothership. It'll keep diving on and off the screen until you destroy it. But the catch is that you have to blow up both halves in a single pass, or else it'll just come back all regenerated on the next entrance. The other catch, and this is a big one, is that you have to do all of this within a time limit. A time bar gradually drains over the course of each level, and you have to complete everything before the marker gets all the way to the left, or else it's one life lost and a fresh restart from the beginning of the stage. Whereas losing a life from crashing into an enemy just delays you without actually setting back your progress in the round. So the key to time management is regulating your speed. Pushing forward on the joystick speeds you up, and pulling back slows you down. I found the most reliable strategy was to go full throttle through the first batch of electron posts, and slow down intermittently once you start encountering enemies. On the surface, that means slowing down to blast saucers and hoppers, then briefly speeding up through incoming posts. In space, that means slowing down whenever alien ships enter and exit the screen so you can aim more reliably, and speeding up when they get out of range for a questionably street-legal U-turn. Also try not to lose too many lives, because it wastes your precious time and ends your precious life. Remember, you are loved, and those extra 300 points you get from blasting that alien saucer isn't worth meeting your untimely demise in a fiery electron post collision. Unless it nets you enough points for a bonus life, because you get one of those whenever your score increases by 50,000. Life hack. Buck Rogers has some really impressive visuals for the Atari. I like the sense of depth and speed you get from the distant mountain range and moving lines on the planet's surface, the balance between a standard, iconic design for the flying saucers and a more unique standout design for your own spacecraft, and the information display at the top of the screen. It's neat, it's legible, and it doesn't clutter itself with unnecessary junk. The sound design, on the other hand, is a mixed bag. I absolutely love the explosion effects when you blast an enemy ship, but the constant increasing radar beep of the timer raises my blood pressure way past a healthy threshold. I know it's just a video game and I shouldn't be stressing over a timer, but the Planet of Zoom needs me, and I'm already afraid of looming deadlines to begin with. The most novel aspect of Buck Rogers is the mothership battle. Not only because boss battles are few and far between on the 2600, but because of the whole you gotta blast both halves in one pass to win thing. As much as I hate two-step verification to sign into a website, I can appreciate two-step evil alien spacecraft destruction. So this game has an interesting difficulty curve, and that each successive level increases the number of posts you have to fly through, their proximity, and the amount of enemies you encounter, without the leeway of a longer time limit. And the difficulty doesn't cap until you reach level 16, which I think just loops indefinitely. I was only able to make it to level 10 on my own merit, but I did go on and play all the way through level 16 using save states, just to see how ridiculously hard this game gets. And spoiler alert, it gets ridiculously hard. My favorite part of Buck Rogers is that, contrary to standard game design, none of the enemies actually shoot at you. They're just obstructions to either avoid or blow up. This goes a long way to balance out my anxiety levels from the dreaded level timer, but it does sort of make me feel like the unjustified aggressor here. Hopefully I'm not just maliciously attacking my allies like Buck Rogers from the 1939 film serial. If I could change one thing here, I'd teach Buck Rogers how to count. For some reason, this game goes from level 8 to level 9 to level, 8C? That's not how numbers work. Overall, Buck Rogers' Planet of Zoom is officially my new favorite rail shooter. Sega may not know how perspective or counting works, but they sure do know how to make a fun video game.